A mechanic was telling a woman that the car was defective and that he didn't know where the defect was. Meanwhile, another woman was ripping open the man's pockets so she could take the money without him noticing. Meanwhile, another woman was watching everything that was going on. At that moment, the lady realizes that the woman had managed to steal the money. The mechanic then tells the lady that he had fixed the car and tells her the price he would charge. They then get mad about it and say the price was too high and that his service wasn't worth that much, but the mechanic says that was his price and that he wanted his money. The woman said that this was absurd because the man was trying to steal their money, but the man said that he had done the job correctly and that he wanted his money. He says that if they didn't hand over the money, he would have to call the police, but the lady said that was absurd and that he was trying to rob them. She says that he had fixed the car quickly and that the service was not worth as much. He then said that the fact that he fixed the car quickly said that it was worth the price he was charging, but the woman says that this was absurd and that they would not pay the price the man was asking and that if he wanted to, he could call the police on them. At that moment, the other woman goes up to them and asks what was going on. The woman asks who she was and the other woman said she was just working it out. The man then says that these people were not willing to pay for his service, but the woman said that it was a robbery and that they would not pay. The other woman then says that she had seen the woman stealing the man's money, but the woman said that was a lie and that she would never do anything like that to a person. The other woman says that she had seen it with her own eyes, but the woman said that she was mistaken and that she could not prove what she was saying. She then says that the money was with the girl, but the lady tells her not to go near her daughter. She then tells them that they should be ashamed of it, because they were horrible people for stealing from others. The lady then says that she wasn't a hero for doing that, but she said she was just trying to do the right thing. The lady said she had no way to prove what she was talking about, and then she says they were leaving, but the man says he would call the police to sort it out. They then start to leave, but the woman said that they should stay there as the police would soon be arriving. They then leave and the man said he wanted to be money. As they were leaving, they stand in front of the car and say they wouldn't let them go. The man then calls the police and said he needed help, but at this point the lady starts the car and drives away. The woman says that these people were thieves and that the man should report them, but the man said that now that they are gone, he can't do much. The woman then asks him if he hadn't written down the license plate or taken a picture, but he says he didn't have time to do that and that he never thought it would happen. The woman then says that he had lost a lot of money and he says that that money was to pay for his daughter's treatment. He says that he had borrowed that money, but that now he had nothing left. The woman then begins to wonder how people could do that to other people. The man then says that now that he had no more money, he could not afford his daughter's treatment and that this had made him very sad. She then asks if he couldn't get that money another way, but he says he was just a mechanic. She asks him if he didn't know how to do anything else, but he says that, despite being a doctor, he couldn't work in the field and that all he really knew how to do was work with the mechanic. The woman then tells the man that he doesn't need to worry about it, because he would fight right, but the man says he doesn't believe that. Later, the woman and her daughter arrived at their home. The daughter was very sad and the lady asked what had happened. She then says that she hadn't liked what they had just done. The lady says that now they had money and that she shouldn't worry about it, but her daughter says that it was wrong and that the man was a very honest person. The lady said that she didn't worry about it, because now they had the money and that they could do whatever they wanted with it, but her tape says that it was wrong and that she didn't like doing it. Meanwhile, the woman was telling the man that everything would be fine, but he says he didn't know what to do now that he was robbed. She then asks him if he had never seen those women before, but he says he didn't know them. He then says that he didn't know what he could do now, that he needed to pay the doctor for his daughter and the money he had lost. The woman is surprised to discover that the money the man had lost was money he had been able to borrow. He said he had gotten that one, he had borrowed it from a friend, and the woman says he really was in a big problem. She then asks if there wasn't a camera nearby so they can take the footage. The man said that, unfortunately, there were no cameras in that location. They then start to get desperate and start thinking about what they could do, but they have no idea. The man said that he was trying to stay calm and think about what they could do, but that he was having a hard time doing it. Meanwhile, the daughter was saying that she couldn't take that situation anymore and is leaving. Her mother tries to go after her, but the girl leaves. Meanwhile, the man was saying that he couldn't think of what he could do now that he had no more money. At this point, the girl arrives and the man says he wanted to get money back. The woman tells the man to calm down and asks what the girl was doing there. She then said that she was sorry and that she wanted to return the money to the man. He then said he was going to call the police, but she says she needed to tell them a story first. He says he had already called the police, asking him what the story was. She then tells him that there was a very sick girl and that her father was a mechanic, as was the man's daughter. She says that the girl always realized that her father was a good person and that he was very honest as she had learned from him how to be a good person. The woman then asks what that story had to do with what had happened there. The girl says that she was very sorry for what she had done and that she wanted to redeem herself, but the woman says that they couldn't trust her. The girl says that it was her mother's fault for what had happened and that she only followed orders that her mother had told her. The woman then asks if the girl's mother had threatened her to do it, but the girl says no and that she just followed her mother's orders. At that moment, the lady arrives and asks her daughter what she was doing and where she had kept the money. The girl then tells her mother that she had returned the money to the man, which makes the lady very furious with her daughter. The woman then tells her that the lady could no longer do whatever she wanted with her life as they would not let her. The man then says that the police would soon be there and they would sort it out. The lady then says that they couldn't tell her what she could or couldn't do with her daughter. The girl then says that she was not the woman's biological daughter and that she knew she was not her mother. The woman then tells the lady that she should stop saying those things to the girl because she wasn't going to let it go on, but the lady said she would do whatever she wanted. The man then says that the police will be there soon, but the lady says that they will leave. The girl then says that she would not leave with the lady and says that she would stay there. The lady came in and asked the girl if she was really going to stand against them, but the girl said that what they were doing was wrong and that they should stop it. At that point, the woman says that the police were coming and then the lady said that the girl would have regretted it while she was leaving. The man goes after her, but the woman stops him, saying that they now had the money for the man's daughter's treatment. The girl then says she goes upstairs. She told her mother, as she didn't know what else she could do to help her. The man then asks what the girl's name was and she says it was Susanna. The woman tells the girl that what she needed to do now was find a path for her to follow and that this path couldn't be as bad as the one she was following. The man agrees to that and tells her that she needs to move on. She then said that she was sorry for what she had done and that she would never do it again. He said that he would only not report her to the police because she had come back and done the right thing. He then reveals to the girl that the money was to take care of her sick daughter. This makes her very sad. She said she didn't know he had a sick daughter. The man tells her that she didn't have to worry about it because she had done the right thing. She then says that from that moment on, she would try to be the best person possible and that she would also try to help her stepmother. The woman then asks the girl what was wrong with her stepmother. The girl reveals that when her father died, he was also a mechanic and that this made her stepmother think that all the mechanic's money belonged to her. The woman then says that the situation was very strange. The girl then thanks the two, saying that she would do anything to help her stepmother. The woman then says that the situation was very strange and that the girl's stepmother could end up doing something wrong to the person. The girl says that she was very grateful for everything they had done for her and that she would always remember them. She then says goodbye to him, telling himself she would leave. When the girl leaves, the man tells her that the girl's situation was very sad and that he wanted to help her. The woman said that God would help the girl and that she was sure that everything would work out. The man says that the woman was right, but that now he needed to leave, as he was going to the hospital to help his daughter. Later, the girl was walking down the street and was saying that she couldn't believe that her stepmother had turned out that way and asked her father to help. At that point, the woman goes up to her and asks who she was talking to. The girl says she was talking to herself and wanted to talk to her stepmother, but the stepmother says she just wanted her money. The girl then tells her stepmother that the man's money was not their money and that they could not keep his money, but the lady says that the man was mechanical, just like her husband, and that the money was hers too. The girl then tells her stepmother that this man had a daughter who was in the hospital, but the lady says she didn't know about that. The lady says they had nothing to do with it, but the girl says she couldn't say that. She says her stepmother should remember that when her father had stayed in the hospital, they ended up running out of money to help him. She said that if this happened to that man's daughter, it would be something terrible and that they couldn't let it happen. She said she didn't want that to happen to the man's daughter, that she would feel really bad if the same thing happened to her father happened to the man's daughter. She then tells them that they needed to do something different and that they should look for a job. She said that she knew her stepmother was a good person and that she had a good heart. The girl says she knew her stepmother wouldn't want other people to go through what they had been through. The stepmother says that whenever she took other people's money, she felt like she was close to her husband. The girl then says that she didn't want other people to go through what they went through and that her father would be proud of them for it. The lady asks if the girl really thought that way and she says yes. She then hugs her stepmother and tells her that from that moment on, she would have a new life.